Hello everyone, I am your English teacher from Silver Bell CBSE School, and today we are going to start Unit 5 of English subject of Class 7, and the chapter name is Quality. Now, can a shoemaker be called an artist? Yes, if he has the same skill and pride in his trade as any other artist, and the same respect for it too. So, Mr. Gessler, a German shoemaker settled in London, is a perfect artist. Read this story to see how he devotes his life to his art. Now, let me tell you the summary of the chapter Quality. So, you all know that everything has quality. So, here, quality is the story of a German shoemaker settled in London. His name was Mr. Gessler. He was a perfect artist. He used to make the boots of the narrator's father also. Gessler lived with his elder brother. The shop had no signboard. He made boots only on an advance order. एडवांस में ऑर्डर मिलने पर ही वो बूट्स बनाता था एंड दे नेवर फेल टू फिट और वो जो शूज़ होते थे वो एकदम से फिट आ जाते थे हिज बूट्स लास्टेड लॉन्ग सो द नरेटर डिड नॉट नीड टू गो टू हिज शॉप वेरी ऑफन द कस्टमर गोइंग टू गेस्लर sat on a wooden chair and waited. It was like going to some church. The narrator wanted a pair of Russian leather boots. Gessler showed his piece of gold brown leather. He promised to deliver the boots after a fortnight. He, it seemed, used to dream of boots. Was the narrator complained that his last pair of boots creaked? Gessler was shocked to hear it. He agreed to repair or replace them. On another occasion, the narrator entered Gessler's shop. He was wearing a pair of shoes bought at a large firm. Gessler told that those were not his boots. He put a finger on the place where the left boot was not comfortable. He spoke bitterly that big firms made poor quality boots. He also spoke about the hard times of his trade. His own business was going down. The narrator was so deeply moved that he ordered for many pairs. For 2 years, he couldn't go to Gessler's shop. When he came to Gessler's shop, next time he came to know that Gessler's elder brother had died. He again ordered for many pairs of boots. He was also upset to see Mr. Gessler, who seemed to have grown older by 15 years, and he again ordered for many pairs of boots. Soon he went abroad. When he returned his country after a year, he went to Gessler's shop to thank him for the new boots which he had parceled to him. But he found that the name of the shop was gone. It had been taken over by some Englishmen. The poor fellow died of slow starvation. His business failed for he took a long time to supply the order. He never made any advertisement. He used the best leather. He never gave himself time to eat. He was a character who made really good boots. Now look at the following paragraphs. Here I am reading it. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth because he made my father's boots. He lived with his elder brother in his shop, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. The shop had a certain quiet distinction. There was no sign upon it other than the name of Gessler Brothers. And in the window a few pairs of boots. He made only what was ordered, and what he made never failed to fit. To make boots, such boots as he made, seemed to me then, and still seems to me, mysterious and wonderful. I remember well my shy remarks one day while stretching out to him my youthful foot. Isn't it awfully hard to do, Mr. Gessler? And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness of his beard, it is an art. Now, let me explain you these paragraphs. Gessler Brothers and the art of boot making. The author had known the shoemaker for many years because he used to make boots for his father. Mr. Gessler was the shoemaker who lived with his elder brother in their shop in London. The shop didn't have any signs apart from the name of the Gessler brothers. He used to make boots only on orders. Once, the author questioned Mr. Gester if it wasn't awful to make those shoes perfectly fitting into the fit they were meant for. The man answered with a heavy German accent that it is an art. Now look at the following lines. It was not possible to go to him very often. His boots lasted terribly. उनके जो boots थे वो long time तक रहते थे. So उनके पास बार बार जाना possible नहीं था. Having something beyond the temporary, some essence of boots stitched into them. One went in not as into more shops, but restfully as one enters a church and sitting on the single wooden chair waited. A guttural sound and the tip-tap of his slippers beating the narrow wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without coat, a little bent in leather apron, with sleeves turned back, blinking as if awakened from some dreams of boots. Here author is explaining Mr. Gessler. And I would say, how do you do, Mr. Gessler? Could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots? Here he is asking to make a pair of Russian leather boots. Without a word, he would leave me retiring whence he came or into the other portion of the shop, and I would continue to rest in the wooden chair, inhaling the incense of his trade. Soon he would come back, holding in his hand a piece of cold brown leather, with eyes fixed on it. He would remark, "What a beautiful piece." When I too had admired it, he would speak again, "When do you want them?" And I would answer, "Oh, as soon as you conveniently can." जितना जल्दी आप उनको दे सकते हैं. And he would say, "Tomorrow fortnight," or if he were his elder brother, "I will ask my brother." Then I would murmur, "Thank you, good morning, Mr. Gessler." "Good morning," he would reply, still looking at the leather in his hand. And as I moved to the door, I would hear the tip-tap of his slippers going up the stairs to his dream of boots. The shop was the dream of boots of Mr. Gessler. You can see also in this picture the appearance of the Mr. Gessler. I cannot forget that day on which I had occasion to say him, "Mr. Gessler, that last pair of boots creaked, you know." Here, the author is complaining to Mr. Gessler about the last pair of the boots. He looked at me for a time without replying, as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement. यहाँ पर मिस्टर गेस्लर चाहते हैं कि ऑथर ने जो कंप्लेन की है वो वापस ले ले. देन सेड, "इट शुडंट हैव क्रिक्ड. It did. I am afraid. You got them with before they found themselves." "I don't think so." At that he lowered his eyes, as if hunting for memory of those boots, and I felt sorry I had mentioned this grave thing. "Send them back," he said. "I will look at them." Mr. Gessler said that to send the shoes back. Zom boots, he continued slowly, "are bad from birth. If I can do nothing with them, I take them off your bill." यानी कि अगर मैं उसके साथ कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगा तो मैं आपको आपके पैसे वापस कर दूंगा. So here Mr. Gester will be engrossed in his boot making art most of the time and won't talk much with his customers. He strongly admired every piece of materials he used to work with. The boots made by Gessler brothers were of supreme quality and lasted very long. But in one occasion, the author had a different experience. He complained about it to Mr. Gessler. To this, the old man promised that he will repair the shoe, and if he couldn't, he will return the money to the author. Now look at the following paragraphs. Once only I went absent-mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. He took my order without showing me any leather, and I could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior covering of my foot. At last he said, "Those are not my boots." The tone was not one of anger. उनके जो बोलने का टोन था वो गुस्से वाला नहीं था, nor of sorrow, not even of contempt. But there was in it something quiet that froze the blood. He put his hand down and pressed a finger on the place where the left boot was not quite comfortable. It urges you that he said those big worms are no self respect. And then, as if something had given way within him, he spoke long and bitterly. It was the only time I ever heard him discuss the condition and hardships of his trade. यहाँ पर ऑथर ने मिस्टर गेस्लर और उनका जो ट्रेड था उसकी हार्डशिप्स के बारे में रियलाइज किया. They get it all, he said. They get it by advertisement, not by work. They take it away from us who loaf our boots. It goes to this brilliantly. I have no work. Every year I get lace, you will see. And looking at his lined face, I saw things I had never noticed before. ऑथर ने उनके जो फेस एक्सप्रेशन थे उसके ऊपर से कुछ ऐसा नोटिस किया जो उनको पहले पता नहीं चला था. बिटर थिंग्स एंड बिटर स्ट्रगल एंड व्हाट अ लॉट ऑफ ग्रे हेयर्स दैट सीम्ड सडनली इन हिज रेड बियर्ड. एज बेस्ट I could, I explained the circumstances of those ill-omened boots. But his face and voice made so deep an impression that during the next few minutes, I ordered many pairs. They lasted longer than ever. And I was not able to go to him for nearly 2 years. यहाँ पे ऑथर ने बहुत सारे शूज़ ज़्यादा ऑर्डर कर दिए जिसकी वजह से वो लॉन्ग टाइम तक मिस्टर गेस्लर के पास नहीं जा सके. इट वॉज मैनी मंथ्स बिफोर माई नेक्स्ट विजिट टू हिज शॉप. This time it appeared to be his elder brother, handling a piece of leather. Well, Mr. Gessler, I said, how are you? He came close and peered at me. I am pretty well, he said slowly, but my elder brother is dead. यहाँ पर जो इस बार जो शॉप में पर्सन खड़ा है वो मिस्टर गेस्लर का ब्रदर है. So, let me explain you this. Mr. Gessler's grief and the hard times in his life no one occasion while placing an order for a shoe. The author was a bit absent-minded. He was wearing a pair of boots bought at an emergency from a large shop. Mr. Gessler looked carefully and pressed at a point where the left boot wasn't comfortable. With a sad face, he commented that it hurts the customers, but still, the big firms don't have any self-respect. They lure customers with their advertisements and not with their works. Because of this, Mr. Gessler was losing on business. इस वजह से जो मिस्टर गेस्लर का बिजनेस था वो डाउन होता जा रहा था क्योंकि वो एडवर्टाइज नहीं कर रहे थे. तो ऑथर हैज़ हर्ड सच थिंग्स फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम फ्रॉम मिस्टर गेस्लर. ही फेल्ट बैड एंड ऑर्डर्ड मैनी पेयर्स ऑफ बूट्स इंस्टेंटली. उन्होंने एक साथ में बहुत सारे बूट्स के लिए ऑर्डर दे दिया. आफ्टर सेवरल मंथ्स ही वेंट टू दैट शॉप अगेन. But this time he mistook Mr. Gessler for his elder brother. After a while he realized his mistake and learned that the elder brother had passed away. And I saw that it was indeed himself, but how aged and man. And never before had I heard him mention his brother. Much shocked, I murmured, "Oh, I am sorry." Yes, he answered, he was a good man. He made a good boot, but he is dead. And he touched the top of his head, where the hair had suddenly gone as thin as it had been on that of his poor brother, to indicate, I suppose, the cause of his death. Do you want any boots? And he held up the leather in his hand. It's a beautiful piece. So, after returning back, he went to his favorite boot shop again. This time Mr. Gessler looked more aged this time. Only a year had passed, but from his face it appeared as though he has covered a journey of a decade. इस बार ऑथर को जो मिस्टर गेस्लर थे वो ज़्यादा ही एजेड लगे. I ordered several pairs. It was very long before they came, but they were better than ever. उन्होंने जो बहुत सारे बूट्स के लिए ऑर्डर दिया था वो बहुत टाइम तक चले. One simply could not wear them out, and soon after that I went abroad. It was over a year before I was again in London, and the first shop I went to was my old friend's. I had left a man of 60. I came back to one of 75, pinched and worn, who genuinely this time did not at first know me. Do you want any boots? He said. I can make them quickly. It is a leg dime. I answered, please, please, I want boots all around every kind. I had given those boots up when one evening they came one by and I tried them on. In shape and fit, in finish and quality of leather were the best he had ever made. I flew downstairs wrote a check and posted it at once with my own hand. So here the artists end, but with a bitter truth, Mr. Gessler failed to recognize the author. The author, as usual, placed his orders, and this time the boots were better than ever. इस बार जो boots थे वो हर बार से कई ज़्यादा better थे. The author one evening went personally to thank Mr. Gessler for such a splendid work. Here you can see that a week later, passing the little street, I thought I would go in and tell him how splendid the new boots fitted. जब एक शाम को वो यहाँ से गुजर रहे थे तब उन्होंने सोचा कि वो जाके बताए कि जो लास्ट टाइम उनका वर्क था वो कितना स्प्लेंडेड, कितना अद्भुत था. बट वेन आई केम टू वेयर हिज शॉप हैड बीन, हिज नेम वॉज ऑन. जहाँ पे उनकी शॉप थी उसका नेम चेंज हो गया था. आई वेंट इन वेरी मच डिस्टर्ब. इन द शॉप देयर वॉज अ यंग मैन विथ एन इंग्लिश फेस. So, this time the nameplate was missing from the shop. He found an Englishman inside. Mr. Gessler in, I said. No, sir, he said. No, but we can attend to anything with pleasure. We have taken the shop over. Yes, yes, I said, but Mr. Gessler. Author यहाँ पे पूछ रही है कि Mr. Gessler कहाँ पे है. Oh, he answered, dead. Dead, but I only received these boots from him last Wednesday week. So, here the man informed him that Mr. Gessler had passed away and they have taken up the shop. The man further added that Mr. Gessler died of starvation. Mr. Gessler जो थे वो starvation की वजह से मर गए, उनकी डेथ हो गई. He said, poor old man starved himself. Slow starvation, the doctor called it. You see, he went to work in such a way, would keep the shop on, wouldn't have a soul touch his boots except himself. When he got an order, it took him such a time. People want wait. कोई भी ऑर्डर लेने के बाद वो बहुत टाइम लगाते थे जिसकी वजह से लोग वेट नहीं कर पा रहे थे. ही लॉस्ट एवरीबडी. जैसे जैसे उन्होंने धीरे धीरे सारे कस्टमर घुमा दिए. एंड दैट he would sit, going on and on. I will say that for him, not a man in London made a better boot. But look at the competition. He never advertised. उन्होंने कभी अपनी शॉप की एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स नहीं की थी. Would have the best leather too, and do it all himself. Well, there it is. What could you expect with his ideas? But starvation, that may be a bit flowery, as the saying is. But I know myself, he was sitting over his boots day and night. जो मिस्टर गेस्लर थे वो अपने बूट्स के लिए दिन रात मेहनत करते थे. टू द वेरी लास्ट, यू सी, आई यूज्ड टू वॉच हिम. नेवर गेव हिमसेल्फ टाइम टू ईट. वो अपने आप को खाने का समय भी नहीं देते थे. नेवर हैड अ पेनी इन द हाउस. उनके पास पैसे भी नहीं थे. ऑल वेंट इन रेंट एंड लेदर. हाउ ही लिव्ड सो लॉन्ग आई डोंट नो. He regularly let his fire go out. He was a character, but he made good boots. Yes, I said he made good boots. So, here the man used to make all the boots himself. He never allowed anyone else to touch them, used the finest quality leather and worked hard day and night to complete the orders in time. He made the best boots in London with the finest leather, yet he lost it to competition. वो कंपटीशन नहीं कर पाए. एवरीथिंग दैट ही अर्नड वेंट ऑन पेइंग रेंट फॉर द शॉप एंड ऑन बाइंग लेदर्स. ही स्किप्ड हिज मील्स वर्किंग फॉर आवर्स फॉर ईच पेयर ऑफ बूट्स. वो अपने काम में इतना मन लगाते थे कि वो अपना खाना स्किप कर देते थे. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द क्वालिटी. एंड हियर वी हैव completed our chapter. Read and revise it once again. Thank you.